Hello, I'm Juan Davis, Chief Creative Officer at KCET and PBS SoCal, and I'm joined by the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. How is everyone today?
Great, thank you.
Good.
Matt, you have developing important news about our homeless population.
Yeah, there's big news today out of federal court that the city of Los Angeles is potentially going to be entering a judicial consent decree on homelessness. We don't have many details yet, but it would be the result of a federal court case that was first brought in March by a group of largely, but not exclusively, downtown LA business interests who basically were saying that both the city and county of Los Angeles were handling homelessness with negligence. It's not yet exactly clear what's going to happen next, but it's likely to follow in the steps of what's happened in North Orange County over the last 2 years, where nearly 20 cities have voluntarily agreed with advocates for the homeless to expand their housing and shelter systems for homeless residents under the guidance of federal judge David Carter.
So that's a story we'll absolutely be following over the next weeks, months, as long as it does play out. Another thing we're keeping a close eye on is the impact this pandemic is having on the mental health of the community, of everyone who lives here. And Robert has a new study he was looking at today.
Yeah, a tracking survey that USC is doing of more than 1,000 people in LA County found that half are reporting symptoms of anxiety or depression. That's up from a bit more than 1 in 3 just a month ago. 18 to 34-year-olds were even more likely to say they were suffering from these symptoms. I talked with a psychiatrist at UCLA who said, one theory is that many young adults are getting their careers going, they're starting families. They could be especially vulnerable during a crisis like this. The survey also gauged people's concerns over the economy, and it found that young adults are more likely to be stressed out about their financial situation. For instance, this age bracket was more likely to think they would lose their job and run out of money in the near future. We're, of course, seeing mental health struggles surface outside of this survey, too. Calls for information and referrals to LA County's mental health hotline were up 20% in March compared with the same month last year.
Ellie's been keeping an eye for us on the number of people who are delaying going to the ER for really essential healthcare services.
Yeah, so doctors have been seeing fewer patients in the ER, but when they do, the patients are often sicker because they've waited days until their symptoms have gotten worse to get help. I spoke with one cardiologist who recently had a patient who fell and then started feeling the left side of his body going weak, but he didn't call 911 right away. He eventually had a full-blown stroke and ended up at the hospital, and that was about 2 days of delay in getting treatment. And I've been hearing similar stories from doctors throughout Southern California that people are putting off their care or trying to diagnose themselves because of fears of contracting COVID-19. But doctors have been really trying to put out the message, that emergencies don't stop for COVID, that if you do have symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, don't put it off, call 911, go to the ER, and that hospitals have really been trying to take precautions to keep people safe.
Finally today, President Trump's executive order limiting immigration goes into effect tonight, and Josie's been talking to more families who could be impacted.
Right, so Trump's target here is definitely family-based immigration. His order says for 60 days, certain green card applicants can't come into the country. So how it's worked is you have a US citizen or legal permanent resident sponsor a relative for a green card. The president's order says minor children and the spouses of US citizens can still come, but everybody else, kids over 21, elderly parents, siblings, their applications are on pause. And we know about this man in Palmdale who's 78 and has sponsored his 50-something son who's in Mexico right now. And Trump's order has this older man worried about whether his son's going to be able to make it to help him out because he's diabetic and he needs surgery for his vision. Another thing people are really stressing about is whether after the 60 days, Trump is going to extend the ban and lengthen the time that families are separated.
Have you all at the newsroom heard any comments from audience member, community members about this particular issue, Josie?
Yes, a lot of this information is still trickling out. It really just got signed yesterday and is not taking effect until close to midnight tonight. So I think a lot of folks are still not entirely sure how this is going to affect them.
Well, thank you so much to the newsroom of KPCC and LAist, and thank you for tuning in. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.